Imagine that 3 completely different apartments and 3 men who had never met each other left the world in almost the same way in just a few months. The doors and windows were tightly closed, the gaps were meticulously sealed with tape, and the charcoal stove in the center of the room quietly burned out, with all signs pointing perfectly to suicide. But behind this, is it really that simple? After a thorough investigation by the police, they unexpectedly uncovered a chilling woman, Yoshiaki Kinoshima. What kind of magic did she use to plunge these successful and experienced men into dire straits? Today, let's unveil the mysterious veil of this shocking scam together. On August 6, 2009, 41-year-old Ryo Terada was found dead in his apartment in Noda City, Ki Prefecture, Japan. The situation at the scene was strange. He was lying on the ground, with a charcoal stove placed beside him. The carbon inside had already burned out, and the gaps between the doors and windows were sealed with tape from the inside. Preliminary assessment suggests that this is a suicide case caused by carbon monoxide poisoning. After all, in Japan, it is not uncommon for middle-aged men to choose to commit suicide by burning charcoal due to stress or emotional problems. However, things quickly took a turn. When Terada Ryu's family was organizing their belongings, a woman named Yoshikawa Ei frequently appeared in his computer network, browsing history and emails. The email shows that the two are seriously dating, even to the point of discussing marriage. What is even more shocking is that before Terada committed suicide, he transferred his savings of over 8 million yen into Yoshikawa Hideyoshi's account. After his death, this woman disappeared like she had vanished from the world. Why did a man who was preparing to get married suddenly commit suicide? Where did the huge amount of money go? Terada's family cannot accept it and strongly demands that the police investigate again, firmly believing that this is not a simple suicide case. The police have just launched an investigation into Yoshikawa Ei. Just over a decade later, on August 16th, another murder occurred in a high-end apartment in Shinagawa-ku, Tokyo. The person who died this time was 53-year-old Kenzo Endo, who worked at the OTA market in Tokyo, had a stable income, and lived a decent life. My colleague, who had not been to work for several consecutive days and could not be contacted, broke in and saw a shocking scene. Kenzo Endo had fallen to the ground and had been dead for a long time. The scene was exactly the same as that of Ryo Terada's death, with tightly closed doors and windows, sealing tape, and a burnt-out charcoal stove, all of which were committed by burning charcoal together. The police immediately realized the seriousness of the problem, which was too coincidental. There must be a connection behind 2 middle-aged men committing suicide in almost the same way during a similar period of time. They quickly searched Kenzo Endo's residence, and indeed found a woman named Chang, who had close online contact with him on his computer. When the police compared the information of Yoshikawa Ei and Chang, a chilling truth emerged. Behind these 2 different online identities, they actually pointed to the same real-life woman, Yoshiaki Kinoshima. As the police delved deeper into the background and whereabouts of Kana Kinoshima, they discovered that her hunting range was much wider than they had imagined. On May 15th of the same year, in Sakigawa City, Chiba Prefecture, an 80-year-old man named Yoshiyuki Ohira was found dead at home. The cause of death was also carbon monoxide poisoning, and there were charcoal stoves and sealed doors and windows at the scene. At that time, it was also determined to be an accident or suicide. This retired man with considerable assets also has a close relationship with a middle-aged woman he met through the internet. This woman claimed to be his future wife and received a large sum of money before his death. The police have confirmed that this woman is still Kana Kinoshima, but this time she used another pseudonym. From May to August, in just 3 months, 3 men died in the same way, all related to Yoshiaki Kinoshima, and all gave her huge amounts of money before her death. At this point, no one believed it was suicide or an accident anymore. It was definitely a series of planned and premeditated murders. On September 25, 2009, the police arrested Yoshiaki Kinoshima on suspicion of fraud and murder. When her photo was released by the media, the entire Japanese society exploded, because in people's minds, women in such cases should be as stunning as in movies, using their beauty to manipulate men into applause. However, the person in front of her, Kana Kinoshima, doesn't seem like someone capable of committing such a crime. But the fact is that the huge contrast made this case an instant hot topic on the streets and alleys, and people were asking, how did she do it? To understand the magic of Yoshiaki Kinoshima, one must delve into the special world she has constructed. Kijima Kana was born in Hokkaido in 1974, from an unhappy family background. Her father had a tendency towards violence, which may have planted seeds of distorted understanding of interpersonal relationships and material security in her young heart. She showed a talent for pleasing others, especially older men, early on, not through beauty but through something else. Extreme emotional value supply, targeted at specific groups of people. She accurately targets her target customers and does not provoke young and exciting men. Instead, she targets men between the ages of 40 and 80 who have stable income and savings, but are emotionally empty, lack opposite-sex care, and even somewhat insecure in real life. Many of these men are otaku or have repeatedly suffered setbacks in the dating field, lacking confidence in their own charm and having a huge emotional void in their hearts. Kijima Yoshiaki is active on various marriage and dating website forums, carefully crafting her persona under different aliases. Yoshikawa Ei, a piano teacher with a poor background and a longing for family warmth. Chang, a mature woman who runs a high-end clothing store and seeks a soulmate with elegant taste. Her core image is a traditional good woman who is gentle, considerate, understanding, and loves cooking and household chores. She will engage in long-term and in-depth communication with the target online, with emails and text messages filled with delicate care and emotional resonance, patiently listening to the other party's troubles, providing warm encouragement and praise. She made these emotionally drained men in reality feel understood, needed, and respected for the first time. She would say, "You must be working very hard, so pay attention to your health. I feel very happy to chat with you. I think you are different from other men. You are more mature and profound." These words are like a rain in a long drought for men who have lived in an emotional desert for a long time. When the online relationship heats up, she will agree to meet in person and proactively choose to date at the other person's residence, bringing carefully prepared dishes. She is well aware of the power of the saying, "To capture a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach." With excellent cooking skills, she brings home-style delicacies that are highly compatible with the image of a virtuous wife and mother, greatly weakening the other party's guard and bringing the good feelings in the virtual world to real taste buds. During the date, she appeared shy and conservative, emphasizing marriage as a prerequisite for socializing, further catering to the needs of men who crave a stable family life. She allows for some intimate actions, but cleverly sets boundaries to maintain an elusive sense of mystery and purity. In this way, through online emotional comfort, offline food attacks, and strengthening the image of a virtuous wife, Kana Kinoshima successfully made one target male after another completely fall in love, firmly believing that she had met her destined soulmate. After trust is established and relationships are stable, Kimi Kana begins to implement her true purpose, to ask for money. Her excuses are endless and highly persuasive. "My mother is sick and urgently needs surgery fees. I want to open a small shop to lay the foundation for our future lives. I need money to learn more advanced cooking techniques so that I can better take care of you in the future." For men who are deeply in love, money at this time is not only money, but also an investment in the relationship, a bargaining chip for a happy future life, and a way to prove their ability to protect their loved ones. They are almost always willing and generous. Terada, Ruo, Endo Kenzo, and Daigo Yoshiyuki are all like this. After receiving the money, as the relationship deepens, the other party may make more unfulfilled demands, such as meeting parents, registering for marriage, or when the other party's savings are almost squeezed out, the relationship loses its value. So how to gracefully exit? The answer given by Yoshiaki Kinoshima is, make this person disappear completely. The biggest challenge faced by the police after arresting Kana Kinoshima is evidence. The three deceased individuals disguised themselves seamlessly at the scene, appearing to have committed suicide or had an accident. There were no signs of forced entry, fighting, or external injuries, and preliminary tests did not find any toxic residues. Yoshiaki Kinoshima also had a perfect alibi, as she always had clear records of meetings with others before and after the deceased's death, or was on her way to the next target. But through careful investigation and reasoning, the police gradually pieced together her method of murder. On a quiet night, Yoshinao Kinoshima came to the victim's house and had a delicious dinner with her, creating a harmonious and warm atmosphere. After dinner, she may thoughtfully prepare shower water for the other person, or suggest drinking to cheer them up. Under the influence of food, alcohol, and psychological relaxation, victims are likely to feel drowsy. At this moment, Yoshiaki Kinoshima took out a pre-prepared sleeping pill and mixed it with food, drinks, or so-called nutritional supplements, persuading the victim to take it. This was the most crucial step in the entire murder plan. She said in a caring tone, "You've been too tired lately. Take some medicine and get a good night's sleep." The victim was caught off guard and, under the gentle gaze of her lover, took the medication that could put her into a deep coma. After the victim completely lost consciousness, Yoshiaki Kinoshima began to calmly set up the scene. She took out the portable charcoal stove and charcoal she brought, lit them in the center of the room, and carefully sealed the gaps between the doors and windows with pre-prepared tape to ensure that carbon monoxide gas would not leak. After finishing all of this, she cleared away all traces of her past, including wine glasses, utensils, and even fingerprints, and then calmly left the scene to rush to the next date. In that sealed room, the victim in a deep coma inhaled excessive carbon monoxide while sleeping and silently walked towards death. When discovered a few days later, the scene was a perfect suicide or accident scene, where a man with inner distress was burning charcoal alone at home and accidentally died from poisoning. Logically, it seemed completely plausible. As the investigation deepens, the police have found that there may be far more victims than the three known, such as Kana Kinoshima. The evidence chain is gradually improving. Although no common toxins were detected in the forensic examination of the victim's body, trace amounts of sedative drugs were detected in some cases blood, which became the most powerful thorn in exposing her suicide lie. At the same time, the police's investigation into the financial flow of Kana Kinoshima revealed an even more astonishing fact. In just a few years, she used this unconscious fraud method to defraud dozens of men of a total wealth of over 100 million yen, using this money to pay for luxury living expenses, buy designer clothing and bags, enjoy high-end cuisine and hotels, and continue to support other lovers. She is like a complex financial hub, extracting money from older men to satisfy her own and younger lovers' desires. This intricate network of relationships makes her more like a ruthless manipulator living in the real world. The arrest of Yoshiaki Kinoshima is just the beginning of this long legal tug-of-war. Her trial lasted for several years, with twists and turns, full of drama. In court, she consistently maintained her innocence and admitted to the fraud, but denied all charges of murder. Her defense strategy is clear, insisting on the police's initial judgment that all victims committed suicide. She said that the reason why those men gave her money was out of love and voluntariness, and the reason for suicide was because after dating her, they found out that she also had other boyfriends, felt deceived, emotionally frustrated, and despairing, and chose to end their own lives. She portrays herself as a bad woman who navigates between multiple men, but by no means a murderer. She even started writing blogs while in prison, with delicate and infectious writing style that attracted a large number of supporters, many of whom were women. They believed that Kana Kinoshima was a hero who resisted the patriarchal society and used her own intelligence to gain benefits from men. The division of public opinion in this society makes the case even more complex. However, the prosecution prepared sufficient evidence. Despite the lack of eyewitnesses or video evidence of her direct assault, the strong chain of indirect evidence slowly tightened like a noose. Multiple men with the same way of acquaintance, social patterns, and death all disappeared immediately after their death, and this high degree of repetition rules out chance. The sedative drugs detected in the victim's body matched the type of drugs purchased by Yoshiaki Kinoshima. The investigation found that she had purchased the same charcoal stove and adhesive tape as the one on site. Each death occurred shortly after a large amount of funds were transferred into her account, providing a clear criminal motive. Faced with ironclad evidence, Yoshiaki Kinoshima's defense became increasingly pale. After a lengthy trial, in 2012, the Tokyo District Court sentenced Kana Kinoshima to death in the first instance. She appealed against the verdict, but the evidence was conclusive, and the appeals were rejected one by one. In 2017, the Supreme Court of Japan finally upheld the death sentence, and Kana Kinoshima was officially designated as a serial killer by law. However, even after the death sentence was confirmed, she did not stop her activities, continued writing in prison, and even married a male fan in his 60s, sparking another wave of social discussion. Until 2023, she was finally executed, and this Heisei poisoned woman, who had been entangled in Japanese society for more than 10 years, finally came to an end to her controversial life. The case of Yoshiaki Kinoshima is shocking, as she used her human weakness to commit crimes with cruel and covert methods. This is not only a personal tragedy, but also a warning to society. Legally, the integrity and reasonableness of the evidence chain are crucial for conviction. Even in the absence of direct eyewitness evidence, indirect evidence can provide strong support. If you like it, please like and follow my channel. Leave your feedback. Thank you. Continuously updated. See you in the next issue.